Hi everyone, it's Nate and welcome back to Elevate with Nate, the place where we're all about learning, self-improvement and motivation, and where I discuss a wide range of different topics and often discuss new things that I've learned in the last 24 hours. And I encourage you all to leave in the comments what you've learned in the last 24 hours. Right, so in today's episode, I'm going to continue on with the series on my gym workouts. And today is the third workout day where I'm going to be talking about my arm day, my biceps and triceps. Now, if you haven't already watched the first and second workout days, please give it a watch, because I don't just talk about those two workouts, but also the general ethos behind my lifting schedule and why I do things the way I do. But just in a quick little nutshell, there's two important things to mention from those videos. One is that for almost every exercise I do, I only do 2 sets each, where the first set is going to be a strength one of 5 to 6 reps, and the second set is going to be 10 to 12 reps, more for hypertrophy and kind of muscle growth. And between those 2 sets, I only take up to a maximum of 60 seconds, 1 minute, to keep the blood pumping. And that way I can get through a lot more exercises in a workout, because I prefer doing fewer sets per exercise, but do a greater variation of exercises to hit different parts of each muscle. And then secondly, I also discussed that in my workouts, even though I have my general, let's say, scheme, such as chest and shoulders and back end, let's say, traps, I also like to incorporate, let's say, some chest in my arm day, in my leg day, some shoulders, to make sure that I hit each body part more than twice, or say 2 or more times per week. Right, so now I've mentioned that, let's break down today's workout, my arm day. So, as I just mentioned beforehand, I like to bring in different exercises from different workout days into each different day. So even with my arm day, I don't actually technically start with just arms. And actually, again, as I mentioned in my first video, I like to focus on what I personally find weak about my physique. So currently in my routine, I'm focusing mostly on my shoulders, or at least my side delts. I want that bigger. So what I do at the start of this workout is, I do just 1 set of side lateral raises with dumbbell, 1 on the cable, and then I go on to do the exact same thing for my front raises, for my front delt, with first set being with dumbbells and second set with the rope on the cables. Again, I've mentioned those routines on my first chest and shoulder workout day, so look through that if you want more explanation. Now, so what I do for the proper now arm stuff is I start out with close grip bench press. So you might be thinking, well, isn't that more chest? It is, but once you keep your elbows in and do a close grip bench, it's actually massive gains for your triceps. And that's why I include this. I found personally that I've made a lot more gains with my triceps doing this exercise. And more importantly, what's fantastic is it hits your chest too. So I hit chest my first day, and on my third day, I'll do some more chest. It's brilliant, twice per week. So I do that with my usual, set number of rep routine. Once I've done that, and I go on to dips. So for these dips, as I mentioned in my first video, whereas in the first routine for chest and shoulders, I had my elbows out and my body kind of leaning forward more for your chest. For this one, I'm going to have my elbows tucked in, body more upright, and press out that way. Because again, this is meant to be my arm day, but I'm getting those massive benefits from the chest and shoulders too. So making sure that my body is getting a full workout here, not just the arms, but the whole kind of compound lift. So that is my second exercise. Now, as I have mentioned in my first chest video, the dip is quite an advanced movement. So if you can't do it, by all means leave it out. And if you want to try some easier variations, then watch that video where I discuss what to do instead. And after I've done my dips, I now do actually one exercise, which is no arms at all. I just go back onto the chest press machine that I like in my current gym, and I do a quick little drop set. So I pick a weight, do say 6 reps on it, When I can't anymore, I drop it quite a bit more down, and I keep going until literally by the end I'm pushing nothing, okay? But I do that again just to make sure that I've got now 2 days of my week we've had a good chest workout. So at this point, I am now done with really the other body parts. Now I can focus more on my biceps and triceps. So for my first bicep exercise, I go for one of the following 2 options, because I love them both. Either I go for a easy bar bicep curl, or I go for the incline dumbbell curl. They're both brilliant, okay? The incline one will kind of focus more on the stretched part of the bicep, so that is essentially a must-have in your routine, okay? Whereas the easy bar is more kind of conventional, but of course you can go heavier. Now, you may ask, okay, which one do you pick as your first one? Well, I alternate them just because I want to kind of gain strength and kind of hypertrophy in both the standing position, okay, for bicep curl, but also in the stretch one. So if I do my easy bar curls first, every single workout, well, guess what? When I go on to hit my incline dumbbell curls, I'm just knackered, okay, and I don't go as hard on this. So I like to often switch it up, and that's completely fine. So if you start off with the easy bar curls, then later on in the workout, you'll do the incline and vice versa. So that's the first exercise. Secondly, I now switch back to triceps, and this time I do a skull crusher. So skull crushers can kind of lie back, go forward, there'll be a video here somewhere, and you're going to complete that for 2 sets. It's a great exercise where you can go heavier for your triceps. At this point now, I would do the other bicep one, which I didn't do first. So if I hit easy bar first, and now I do incline dumbbell curls, and vice versa. So that's my third one. Now, for my fourth exercise, I often skip this one out, okay? But if you're feeling up for it, then give it a go. I do essentially a kind of a lat pull down, but we're going to use the palms facing yourself, okay? But on top of that, we're going to go kind of as close as possible, and that will focus on your biceps more than your back. And on top of that, try and keep your back pretty upright. Because if you watch my back video, I mentioned that when doing a back day, if you want to kind of contract your lats and your back, you will essentially have kind of quite loose hands here, pretty much just kind of holding on, and with your elbows, bring the elbows down, all tensing up your back, and even potentially slightly lean back. That's on back day. But for this one today, I don't want that. I want to focus on just the biceps. So instead now I go much closer in and don't lean back. And this time, no, I want you to focus on literally tense the hands hard and pull that down. And that you're going to feel is amazing in your biceps. I've watched many documentaries where you have actual ex-gymnasts or gymnasts who, if you watch these guys' physiques, they're all freaking jacked. And they say that, honestly, this one is one of the best that they have for getting massive biceps. So if I have time and I'm feeling up for it, give that a shot for your fourth exercise for your, hopefully for this triceps and biceps. So at this point now, normally I'm getting a bit tired now of my workout. It might have been 30-40 minutes. So I try and speed it all up now. And I involve some supersets. So what this means is I'll do one exercise, say I'll do a set on it, and with no rest, I'll go to a different exercise. So here are my combinations. I'll now go to the cable machine and I'll do some tricep push downs. So this is the bog standard one you often see. People do like using the ropes for this. I just personally prefer using the V-shaped handle, okay? And I'll mention this is, try and for this one, have your elbows kind of more a bit in front and locked in, and you want to push right down. Do not ego lift on this. There's no point just chucking your whole back into this or just stopping halfway. You're going to make no gains on this. Want to lock in and back down, okay? Push down. So do that. The second I've completed that one set, I'll have next to me here some dumbbells, and now I hit my hammer curls. The hammer curls hits a different, say, part of your bicep, or the brachialis muscle, okay, kind of the more of the outer bit of the thickness. So that basically means when doing a curl, you have like a hammer, your hand facing this way, and you simply go up. Okay? Now you can of course do also across your body, that's fine. It's just a preference. Now, I tend to like doing things one at a time. I get more focus. But on this one here, just to get the workout done, I did both at the same time. Okay? And that's what I do. And actually one quick thing there. For hammer curl, of course, you're simply going, I always say putting potentially over the bit further in front of you. I prefer that contraction. Just going straight up. Whereas for any normal curl, so especially also for my incline curl, I did mention this earlier, you want to always focus on twisting your hand, okay? So essentially your pinky is as far rotated the other way as possible, because that creates the optimal bicep contraction. So when you're doing any curl, so either a normal standing bicep curl or an incline curl, you want to twist it out that way, okay? Whereas of course for hammer curls, that's just bog standard. So that's that superset. And once I've completed that, there's one more superset I can do, which is now, I lower the, back on the cable machine, the connection height to, let's say, my knee height. And now I do a tricep kickback. That's one where I lean over, and I actually, for this one here, I don't personally use a handle. I just grab the actual cable from the machine. And you put your elbow up, okay, and you simply put it back, right, like this. For this exercise, you might see many people use this with dumbbells, like light dumbbells. I personally don't like that. I find that the actual, because gravity is pulling you that way, I just don't particularly find a good contraction there. Whereas with the cables, you're pulling against the cable, pulling you in that way. It just works much better in my opinion. So give it a shot. So I do that, and then my superset is actually another single-handed bicep curl. But here's the thing. It will be roughly at the same height as you had for your tricep kickback, but this time you take quite a few steps forward. Now I can't show it here properly, but one day on a video I'll show you in the actual gym. So you grab the handle, but here's the slight thing. Many people in doing this, you'll watch, to take a few steps forward, okay, to create tension on the cable, but many people stand with their elbows behind them and do that, which is essentially a bit like the incline dumbbell curl. But here's a little trick here. Don't do that. Bring your elbow right in line with your torso. And what you'll find here is, actually try to now extend your arm straight. At the bottom point, so currently here, in my house, there's no tension. But when you have this cable pulling you back, you're going to feel a massive, great kind of tension and force on your bicep. And you want to make sure you're keeping your arm here. Remember, your arm wants to go back because the cables pulling back. You're holding it there, and you're simply just going stretch, contract. Do that on each arm. It's a great one. As ever, if you're getting some sort of pain there, then of course do stop and don't do it. But that was that superset. It was the kickbacks and then the bicep curl. And then finally, we've got a few other options here, which is for tricep, we can do is any kind of overhead extension here, either with a dumbbell or with a machine. You put the very bottom, the rope, you hold the rope, okay, twist round, and then you pop it up. That's what you can do. And then one other one you can do also for biceps, a great one, is some sort of shortening of the bicep. So that will be a concentration curl. I'll put it here somewhere, basically where you kind of rest on your leg and you bicep curl up, or a preacher curl. I personally prefer a concentration curl to a preacher curl. I'll put it here somewhere, because I find that preacher curl, I just feel I'm going to get injured, okay? I don't do it personally. So, as you can see there's a lot of stuff there to do on the biceps. And often, what I do in my workouts is, I miss out some, because if I'm having a big workout here, and you're knackered, it just won't work. So, I might one day miss out the concentration curls, I might one day miss out the cable curls. That is fine. All I'll say is, if 1 week you miss out the cable curls, then make sure next workout you put them in and potentially miss out a different one, okay? Don't keep missing out the same exercise. You want to make sure that you hit different angles. So that's that. And then the very, very, very last bit of this workout, again, if I have energy and if I have time, is a reverse easy bar curl. Because reverse curl is fantastic, okay, again for kind of your brachialis muscle, but also your forearms. And the key thing to this is, when doing this easy bar reverse curl, we're holding it this way, not that way, don't put your elbows back. It's the exact same thing also for a standard, say standard conventional easy bar bicep curl. The rookie area is to just be doing this nonsense, okay, momentum, but also you can have great, posture with your elbows back doing this. But I find personally, there's not much movement here. Try this. When I hold it, I have my elbows almost a bit in front of my body. And now when I curl up, you really feel it. And of course, in this one here, reverse curl, it's this way around. And I literally want to kind of extend it out from me, right there, and then bam, up we go. Extend it out, bam. And by the end, your hand wants to literally open up because it's too heavy. That's fine. So that's what I'll do if I get out time. I want to get a good forearm pump too. So that there was my day 3, my arm day. Hopefully you enjoyed it, because as you can see, not only was it a simple arm day, but it also involved at the start some potential shoulders, the chest stuff, and also a bit of back stuff too. And that's what you want. You want to have a combination of many different things, because ultimately an arm day by itself is a bit too easy. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. We only have left to do my leg day and then my squat / abs / cardio day. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It's Nate, it's been great, onwards and upwards.